Chainsaw Man is frustrating. It's frustrating not because it's a terrible show. It's frustrating because there's a lot left to be desired for reasons not you would think it would be. CSM, aka Chainsaw Man, is an action slash fantasy genre produced by Mappa, released in fall 2022. Originated from a manga series written and illustrated by Fujimoto Tatsuki. Serialized under Shonen Jump Plus online magazine, published by Shueisha. The story follows around an impoverished young man named Denji, who makes a contract that fuses his body with that of a dog-like devil named Pochita, granting him the ability to transform part of his body into chainsaws. Denji eventually joins the Public Safety Devil Hunters, a government agency focused on fighting against devils whenever they become a threat to Japan. With that out of the way, where do I even begin? Look, I do not hate Chainsaw Man. In fact, it's easily and strong recommendation to both newcomers and fans of the series. Top of the line animation, cinematic color grading, well-directed narrative and presentation. More importantly, an almost one-to-one recreation from the original source material. To put it simply, it's an all-around solid adaptation. Yet I can't wrap around my head but to think, what went wrong? It is no secret that the manga as a whole is widely popular in the genre, selling over 20 million copies in circulation worldwide as of November 2022. Combined with Mappa's recent track record with shows such as Attack on Titan, the final season, Jujutsu Kaisen, and the upcoming Vinland Saga Season 2, creates this massive hype surrounding the idea of Chainsaw Man will be anime of the year. And frankly, they have every right to make the assumption because Mappa did the unthinkable. If you're familiar with the term production committee, you will most likely come to a realization that most animation studios does not hold a credo in making your favorite shows. To put it simply, a production committee is a joint venture made of a group of companies that control, coordinate, finance, and produce an anime as well as any related products. So your Blu-rays, CDs, DVDs, merchandise, yada yada yada, are all funded under the production committee as a form of investment from multiple companies, under the assumption that the show would ultimately be a success and turn a profit from it. It's essentially a game of risk vs profit. Whoever holds the biggest candle are the ones making the call, not the other way around. But Mappa said otherwise. What if they themselves are the ones funding the project, without any of the top brass holding against their creativity freedom, while also simultaneously gatekeeping all the profits to their own and said show is a major success? And I quote, "Give us the green light to make the anime, and we will back up 100% on our own behalf." But really, that's about it. Denji is undoubtedly the most one-dimensional character ever written in any fiction story. To put it simply, he's a fucking simp. I absolutely do not see any traits out of him, even after spending a good amount of time with him. It's ironic because he truly embodies the prime example how not to write a main character. Yes, he can be funny at times, but his lack of motivation very much makes him extremely shallow as a character. Truly one of the protagonists of all time. Actually, it's not even fair to judge his character when the show itself literally robs it all from him in just one episode. Yes, you heard me. In just one episode. Am I supposed to relate this supposing tragic character because some convenient plot device tells me so? It's funny because arguably the true star of the show is none other than Aki. He's an overall much compelling character than Denji ever is. His motivation as a devil hunter never once comes across as forced or shallow. The show itself also did a phenomenal job in grounding both his past and present, and how he, as a character, is willing to push forward to achieve growth as the story progresses. However, I have to emphasize that while I do not personally have much grudge towards the other cast, it's still clear as day that the quality to that delivery varies from one to another. Honestly, the story would have been fine even with Denji's one-dimensionality if they have not committed the biggest sin of them all, which is pacing. During an interview with Seshimo Kesuke, the producer behind Chainsaw Man, it was revealed that Nakayama Ryo will be directing the project. Mappa's main reasoning behind the decision is to have someone that is new in directing animated TV series as an attempt to branch out a different approach in visualizing the series. To which, according to Ryo, he aims to express the adaptation on a realistic time axis to, quote-unquote, aiming for a more realistic and cinematic layout. And it really shows. The significant shift in tone allows the anime to be more grounded, violent, and dark. Colors are mundane in contrast to the colorful artwork presented in the manga. Conversations are a notch slower with additional padding in between to tame the pacing intentionally. Character expressions are also limited to a degree for a more realistic approach. There is without a doubt that the overall presentation itself feels cinematic. For some, this creates immersion. To me, however, it felt like a missed opportunity from Mappa. Because this is exactly the opposite to what the manga stood for, being absolutely chaotic fun. The show wants us to take the story seriously, yet the jokes presented from the original source are clashing one to another. The show wants us to care about the characters, yet heavily relies on their personality traits without any additional context to reinforce the matter. It creates this jarring contrast that tends to stumble all over the place, which contributes heavily to the story having a lackluster construction. And it gets even worse when Denji's own one-dimensionality is now the highlight of the show. Some of the characters straight up felt like paper dolls as a result due to the pacing. I can stomach a slower paced show, but it has to add value to that exchange. If you waited years for a 12 episodes adaptation and at episode 7, nothing has happened yet, that is a huge red flag by itself. Yes, the adaptation itself has faithfully recreated the manga, but never once did the show offer anything new to the table. The show lacks well-put effort in what matters: the story, how is it told, how to make characters approachable, more likable, well-written, as if Mappa themselves are too busy in showcasing their animation capabilities.
What the fuck is that?
And finding pop culture reference. But hey, wouldn't it be cool to waste 2 minutes seeing Aki making morning coffee? Or Himeno carrying Denji to her bed for 5 minutes? To put it simply, Chainsaw Man does not live up to its hype, even if on paper they have all the right ingredients to do so. To me, that is frustration by itself. Mappa took all the risks to their own, knowing that one wrong step could run the company to the ground, yet decided heavily rely on their marketing to do the lifting, in the hopes that the adaptation is either on par or not far off from the original source material. Having 12 ending songs and 46 million views does not hold a cradle if your show is unable to leave a huge impact to the audience. I'm being harsh not because I'm biased towards it. In fact, it's the opposite. I genuinely do felt that Mappa could have done a better job than what is currently presented. It takes more than just a good adaptation to be an excellent show. Madoka Magica took the risk in creating a complex original story under a niche genre that most would not bat an eye on. Bocchi the Rock took the risk in expanding both its narrative and presentation without neglecting the original source material. That's what excellent shows are. Doing more than just getting the job done. Because if you start taking out all the flashiness, all the fights, and gore from the anime, what is it left of it? Exactly. An animated manga panel. Nothing more, nothing less. Truly a tragic missed opportunity to what could have become a masterpiece.